Okay, we are learning. Wonderful Matthew is learning with me about this U.S. President George W. Bush because he wants to study the Iraqi wars. And today we study the George W. Bush, 41 President of the United States, and his son will study Bush dynasty, the Bush dynasty. Okay, now Bush was CIA.
Bush was the director of Central Intelligence. Where? Oh yeah, in 1976. Bush ran for president in 1980, but was defeated in the Republican presidential primaries by Reagan, who then selected Bush as his vice president running mate. In the 1988 presidential election, Bush defeated Democratic Michael Dukakis.
I listened to the debate between Dukakis and George W. Bush. Okay, let's show how old I am. Okay, so now I divulged the secret. Way back in 1988, I watched presidential election. Let's just show how old this guy is. Okay, anyway, go. Foreign policy. So when you are going to talk about the foreign policy,
Bush's presidency as he navigated the final years of the Cold War and played a key role in the reunification of Germany.
You are 10-year old and you already know something about the reunification of Germany. Tell me, go.
Okay, so in the Cold War, this famous quote, Iron Curtain has been draped over Europe, and then so everything, like the Iron Curtain might not, sometimes it's gonna be walls, sometimes there's gonna be rules and stuff like that, barricades, but then it's essentially everything on the east side of the Iron Curtain was under control of the Soviet Union, and on the west side were under control of NATO.
Good job. And I told you about the James Baker III. He was in the negotiation. He was a lawyer, oil and gas lawyer, and every big deal in the oil and gas business, his law firm get a piece of action. And so therefore, he learned as a lawyer to do business negotiation and international diplomacy. And right now in the Rice University, there is a James Baker Institute of International Studies. Okay, so when you visit Houston, I will bring you to the Rice University, and they have a piece of a Berlin Wall in Houston. Make sense? Because James Baker and the Bush family credited themselves by reunification of Germany and bring down the Soviet Union. And who was doing the negotiation for the Americans? James Baker family. Go.
Okay.
Keep on going.
Okay.
He presided
over the invasion of Panama and the Gulf War, ending the Iraqi occupation of Kuwait,
a very rich country that have oil and gas. Very, very small, very rich with oil and gas. Go.
In the latter conflict, though the agreement was not ratified until he left office, Bush negotiated and signed the North American Free Trade Agreement.
NAFTA, I just mentioned NAFTA is in your test. NAFTA, remember that. Go.
Bush created a trade bloc consisting of the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Domestically, Bush reneged on...
He said no. He promised something and he said no.
On a 1988 campaign promise by enacting legislation to raise taxes to justify reducing the budget deficit. Budget
deficit. Like your family have a $100, you spend $1,000. Then you have a how many? Okay, $900 deficit. Go ahead. Okay. He championed
He championed and signed 3 pieces of baptism.
Bipartisan, bipartisan. BI mean two party, both Republican and the Democrats will support him. That's called the bipartisan legislation.
Bipartisan legislation in 1990. The American
Sorry. Go.
The Americans with the Disability Act, the Immigration Act, and the Clean Air Act amendments. He also appointed
That's not important. These things are not important anymore. Not important. So now we talk about the wonderful film. It's not a good film, but it's a good film to study history, to understand George W. Bush's W. Bush. This guy is called W. Bush. W. The movie W. Okay, W. So we can learn so much historical figure from here. Okay, George W. Bush stated that he will help him. Go. Father will help him. Okay. At that time, he's a good for nothing son. He's a good for nothing son. He's just getting drunk and be a goofy guy. Go. Matthew.
Okay. Following the football game, his father, George H.W. Bush, states that he will help him, but for the last time. Following his graduation from Yale, Bush takes a job at an oil patch back in Texas, but he quits after a few weeks.
Why he quit? It's a hard job. It's a back-breaking job. This is rich kids cannot do hard labor. Okay.
In 1971, Junior reveals his real aspirations in a father-son talk, working in professional baseball. Bush accepted into Harvard Business School with.
Is he good enough? Listen, is he good enough to go to Harvard Business School?
Yeah.
Of course not. Oh. Of course not. But his father makes some phone calls, ask his old friend, okay, can you help my son to get to your school? We are old friends, right? Okay. Makes sense? Is he good enough? Can he pass the examination without Frank teaching? Do you think he will? Okay, he didn't hire me to coach him, so he will have a very bad GRE score, GMAT score. I got full score on the test. But can I go to Harvard Business School? No. Okay. But I don't have a father that is the president. Go.
Okay.
But I'm proud of my father. There's nothing wrong with my father.
The help of his father. After a night of heavy drinking, Bush in his family estate and challenges his father.
Okay.
Into a fist fight. His younger brother, Jeff.
Hey, did I tell you don't give your father a fist fight? Are you going to do that?
No.
Don't do that. Okay. He don't deserve it. Go. He's a younger brother, Jeb Bush. Listen. He's a younger brother, is governor of Florida. My friend in Florida, they all like Jeb Bush. They all like him. Okay, he have a very mild manner. He's such a nice gentleman, they said. I don't know him, but
in 1977, Bush announces he will run for Congress to represent Texas' 19th district. At a barbecue, Bush meets his future wife, Laura Lane Welch.
Okay, so you need to remember, you need to study this guy. At least you need to know Laura Bush as a first lady. Go. First lady.
During the debate, Bush is criticized by his Democratic opponent, Kent Haynes, who says that Bush is not a real Texan and has spent campaign contributions to throw an alcohol field party for the underage Texas Tech University students.
You both told me I provide you with a vodka and beer and the whiskey. Okay.
Bush fares poorly in the debate and loses the election, but nevertheless receives the highest number of votes for a Republican candidate in the state's history.
Good job. Go. In 1986, he became a born-again Christian. You don't know what is a born-again Christian. Now, read it for me. To be a born-again.
becomes a born-again Christian, gives up alcohol, and mends his relationship with his fat.
We are born again or
Born
experience.
again or experience the new birth is a phrase particularly in the
Evangelical Christianity.
Christianity that refers to a spiritual rebirth or a regeneration of the human spirit.
Okay. So now he stopped drinking. He become a born again Christian. He gave up alcohol. He stopped drinking. Because before that, he get drunk all the time and he crashed his car, right?
Yeah. The elder Bush invites him to assist with what becomes.
Oh, he mind his relationship with his father. If he is still angry with his father, he cannot become a president again. Go.
Okay.
Bush
The elder Bush invites him to assist what becomes his 1988 presidential campaign. Although Bush himself suspects that he was only asked because Jeb was busy. Bush's political advisor Karl Rove tells him
okay, this guy is a real guy. This guy is a real person. I actually read his book. He's a very ugly looking guy, but he's very smart. He came from a very poor family, but he go to Yale University, right? Very poor guy, and he become a very powerful. He become a very powerful because what? Oh no, he get Utah, but he's a very smart. He write books. He actually write his books. So he become the big advisor. So he was born in Denver, Colorado, from a very poor family. Okay. But if you came from a poor family, you want to do good, you study hard, go to the best university you can. Okay. So now he have this guy to help him, to train him, to coach him. Go.
Tells him that he has the potential to make a name for himself, but that he has not yet done anything with his life. Bush becomes a front office executive of the Texas Rangers baseball team, while his father oversees the victory of the Gulf War.
Okay, so his father started the first Gulf War, which also called the Iraq War, Operation Desert Shield. Okay, and then later on, Operation Desert Storm, that will be in your competition. Okay, keep on going, go. Although Allied force liberate Kuwait, go. Keep on going. And then you will watch this.
Although Allied forces liberate Kuwait within 100 hours of their ground invasion, the elder Bush decides not to invade Iraq to depose Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein was got the death penalty from Iraqi people after he was captured and tortured. This guy was the president of Iraq. Eventually, he was hung to death. He was hung to death. And you can Google it. Yeah. He have his party, his presidency, deposition, and death. Okay. So this guy, when he was young, so you can do a lot of research on the personal fight between Saddam Hussein and George W. Bush, the two Bushes. Go. After his father lost.
After his father loses the 1992 presidential election to Bill Clinton, Bush blames the loss on his decision not to depose Saddam. In 1994, Bush runs for governor of Texas, despite his parents' objection to him entering the race. He secures a victory in the election, becoming the 46th governor of Texas.
So he was a governor for Texas.
Governor of Texas on January 17, 1995 and 2000. He makes a successful bid to become president. Following the September 11 attacks in to 2001, Bush labels Iran, Iraq, and North Korea as the axis of evil in 2002. Bush searches for evidence that Saddam was creating nuclear weapon and has the army prepared. All of Bush's White House staff supports him except Secretary of State Colin Powell.
Oh, I show you the picture of Colin Powell, right, in the movie, and this is his real picture. Makes sense? He's a very important. He's an African American from a Caribbean island. He's the highest position in the U.S. Army, Secretary of
States that invading Iraq would destabilize the country. Powell is generally overruled by Vice President Dick Cheney and
Okay, so look at this guy's face. I'm not going to comment anything. I'm not going to comment on anything. And he ran George W. Bush. He ran him. He is the brain who really ran the country. Okay. So that is you can research about this guy if you want. Okay. CEO of Halliburton. And this Secretary of Defense, he ran the army. He and Colin Powell both from the army. United States Secretary of Defense. Okay, this guy. This is a current guy. Okay. This guy is also a business CEO. American politician, businessman, naval officer. Go. And they all appeared in the movie. Dick Cheney. So you will point out to your parents who is Dick Cheney, who is Rumsfeld, who is a Colin Powell. What is that position?
The war would secure the United States status as a sole global superpower while spreading democracy throughout the Middle East. In March 2003, U.S. invades Iraq. The war appears to be a success as Bush soon gives them his mission accomplished
speech. Okay. On an aircraft carrier.
When it becomes clear that there are no weapons of mass destruction within Iraq, Bush learns that the responsibility for finding them had been
relegated
far down the chain of command. Bush discovers that Saddam gambled his regime and his life on assumption that Bush was bluffing. Bush is asked in a White House.
That's enough. Summarize for me what you're reading. Do you have any questions?
No.
You understand everything?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. Of course, if you can, let's test how good or how bad is your Chinese, but you already 书不简单，小布什传 W OK 看看这个是 this one in Chinese anyway let's do this Bush quiz ball history easy level, easy 10. Bush family and Iraqi wars. 10 questions. With answers. Without answer is not fair. Okay. Without answer because you're going to study them and this is a national quiz board, the easy one. Now read loud and clear. Go.
Was the president of the United States during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, George W. Bush? Okay.
Go.
What was the name of George H.W. Bush's military operation during the Gulf War in 1991?
Which one? Yeah, you made so I'm going to quiz you tomorrow about these things. Which Bush family member served as a governor of Florida? I told you this and ran for president and he lost. Jeb Bush. And then I'm going to test you medium and high. So this one is your homework and yeah. Okay, so these are the easy one. And now, of course, now 10 median. Oh, I cannot even type. Set 10 medium side. And tomorrow I'm going to test you, okay? But right now you have the answer. So you will study everything about, now can you read two? Go. Question and answer, go.
What term was used by George W. Bush administration to describe Iraq, Iran, and North Korea as threats to world peace? Axis of evil.
Cool. Current power. Current
U.S.
power.
Secretary of State presented evidence to the United Nations in 2003 claiming that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction. Colin Powell.
Colin Powell. See, do number 10. Number 10, go.
What former
Saddam Hussein. Hey, go.
general led the Republican Guard during 1991 Gulf War and was later executed in the 1903 invasion? Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, what happened to him? He was hung to death. He was hung to death. Okay. He was hung to death. Okay. And then, of course, after that, it would be hard one. Post-insurgency. And yeah, 30 questions. No, hard set. And you are wonderful. And I'm going to test you this tomorrow. Because you choose a topic, it's not as if Bush family in the Iraq wars. Not read number 1, go.
Okay.
Project for the new American century.
What new conservative think tank linked to members of the Bush administration promoted U.S. global leadership and was accused of influencing the Iraq invasion strategy? Project for a New American Century.
PNAC. Remember this one. And homework research, PNAC, what they talk about. It's very controversial. It's very controversial even right now in this tool, right now, new research. And if you don't know, I'm going to teach you tomorrow. Yeah, we had a wonderful time together. Okay, now, number 10. Go read number 10. Blackwater USA. Wow. What controversial defense contract become the symbol of the privatization of war during the Blackwater? Wow, Blackwater. And you research Blackwater. I know this guy. He's a very rich guy. He set up an army camp in North Carolina, in a beautiful area of North Carolina. Okay. So very beautiful. He set up his private army. Yeah. Here is a 10 hard questions for quiz bowl and for high school. These are not for your age, but you can handle them because you are wonderful. Okay. Okay. Hardest set for high school students. And tell your mom you are doing the hardest one. And of course you can do it. Oh, absolutely, Frank. He's talking to me, right? The hardest possible quiz. Okay, I probably cannot do that, but you can because you are younger than me. What do you have for excuse? And anything you don't understand, I'm going to read.
Wow. Like most of things I don't understand.
No, read it. Go.
What 2003 Department of Defense strategy directed by Donald Rumsfeld emphasized small agile forces and rapid technological
superiority. Okay.
But was later criticized for failing to stabilize post-invasion Iraq.
Okay. Shock and the wall. And shock and the wall. Why it doesn't work? I'm going to teach you this. I know it, but I don't think I can memorize them. But shock and the wall failed terribly. And I will definitely the high ranking. Yeah. Okay. For example, if you don't know the first one, of course I know it. And I will send you a video. For example, next short and war. Rapid dominant doctrine. I'm going to teach you this one.
Also accept a rapid dominance doctrine.
Yes, I will stop recording.